Captain Peter Baumgart gunned the three mighty engines of his Junkers 52 as it stood on Berlin's wide Hohenzollern Boulevard. The street was festooned with the rubble of war, including burned-out tanks and half-tracks, shell holes, and corpses. 3 o'clock on the morning of April 28, 1945 in West Berlin was emphatically not the time and place to be trying to run a passenger service up to the border with Denmark. But Baumgart had his orders, and as well as being a loyal member of the Luftwaffe, he was also a captain in the dreaded SS, further proof, if it were required, that quite how loyal he was to the Nazi regime. Baumgart looked out of his cockpit as a group of men and women all wearing helmets emerged from 3 tanks. As the noise of the Red Army artillery besieging the city thundered menacingly close, the group hurried aboard the plane and, as the door slammed shut, Baumgart took off. After climbing for nearly 20 minutes, the aircraft leveled at 10,000 feet. Although they would now be immune from ground fire, there was a strong chance they could be intercepted by Allied night fighters. Nevertheless, the members of the group felt safe enough to remove their helmets. It was only at that moment that the identity of the leader of the group was revealed. It was Adolf Hitler. Overwhelmed with trepidation, Baumgart was also honored and delighted in helping the Führer to escape. This surely meant that the Third Reich was not ready to die. Claims that Hitler did not die in a Berlin bunker but instead escaped might seem far-fetched. Yet fantasies such as this one, drawn from the popular history book Grey Wolf, The Escape of Adolf Hitler, are now believed by millions all around the world. Indeed, there is a plethora of TV shows and popular books dealing with this piece of seeming historical fact, including Hitler and Argentina, the documented truth of Hitler's escape from Berlin in a successful big-budget show on the History Channel called Hunting Hitler. Lasting for 3 seasons, it pulled together a globe-trotting investigative team that included a former CIA officer, a war crimes investigator, and even the Second World War historian James Holland. No wonder viewers were impressed. There are many variations of Hitler's escape, but most seem to feature him flying from Berlin, being spirited across the Atlantic by U-boat, landing in Argentina and living out his days with Eva Braun in obscurity in Patagonia, the southern tip of the country. It's clearly a seductive story, too seductive, perhaps, as huge numbers of the otherwise sensible people now believe that Hitler's death-defying miracle is rooted in hard fact. As a historian myself, I am shocked at quite how widely and deeply the story has spread, thanks partly to the internet. Not a week goes by without someone attacking me for daring to dismiss the idea that Hitler hot-footed it out of his bunker. Fortunately, an incisive new book by Luke Daly-Groves has come to the aid of those determined to tell the truth with a brilliant demolition of the conspiracists. By combing through hundreds of British and American secret intelligence files, Daly-Groves has built up a formidable case to demonstrate that Hitler did, in fact, kill himself in his bunker on April 30, 1945, and that claims he flew out of Berlin to spend his twilight years in Argentina are pure hogwash. I hope this will shut up the Hitler hunters once and for all. How dentists drilled down to the truth. It is hard to envisage a tougher place to investigate a death than a city that has been reduced to rubble and littered with corpses. But that was the challenge facing the Allies in the summer of 1945 when they were needing to find proof that Adolf Hitler had indeed taken his own life. As Berlin had fallen to the Red Army, the Russians had the head start on the investigation, and it was they who found the charred remains of 2 corpses in the gardens of the Reich Chancellery. Autopsies were carried out, which revealed that one body was that of a male aged between 50 and 60, and the other of a female aged between 30 and 40.